Hey there, what's up? It's Alicia from aliciacarlson.com. Today I want to talk to you about health at every size and kind of how I came around to believe that that might actually be the way that we need to be approaching health for ourselves. Now, at first, full disclosure, I was pretty skeptical when I heard about the movement health at every size. I thought surely you can't be healthy at every size because in my mind, obesity was a disease and being overweight was something that we were trying to avoid at all costs. But I never really stopped to think about where the term obesity or where the terms overweight came from. I never stopped to really question, like, what weight was I over if I was in the overweight category? And the ironic thing is that pretty much my whole life, I have been either in the high overweight to kind of borderline obese. And that simply has to do with the amount of muscle that I have and my weight versus how tall I am. I'm not a very tall person. And so when I would go to the doctor or when I would be working with trainers or things like that, and they would pull out the BMI or they would, ask my height, ask my weight, and then I get put on this category of being overweight or obese, I immediately thought that there was something wrong with me, that there was something that I needed to do to change myself in some way to fit kind of the societal narrow perspective of what a healthy woman looks like. In fact, if you were to Google right now or after you get done watching this video, a healthy or a fit woman, you're going to see that the images that pop up are pretty narrow. Typically, they are thin, and right now in this season, we're having this cultural moment where muscular is considered attractive. So maybe they're thin, lean, majority is going to be a white female. The problem with that is that if you are doing all of the right things, let's say you are getting good sleep, you are drinking your water, you are eating your vegetables and your protein, you're working out, you're doing all of these things, but you're not losing the weight and your body's not looking any closer to what it is that you think it should look like, you can start to lose steam and start to really question and kind of come down on yourself. And maybe you even just decide, what the heck, I might as well just give up. Or let's say you're not white, it's going to be pretty hard for you to become this picture of ideal health and fitness, right? So for me, it was really kind of diving in and doing some research and reading the book and reading some articles, some peer-reviewed articles about this movement or about the concept of health at every size, and realizing that health and fitness and wellness doesn't look a certain way, despite what mainstream fitness is telling us, or despite what the latest fitness magazine or fit influencer on Instagram is telling us, or what they look like. So it really is about just learning how to create that healthy lifestyle that fits and works within the rest of your life. And it's focusing on the behaviors and not necessarily the outcomes. The problem is that we can't control the outcomes. We can only control our effort and our attitude, the ways that we show up. But when we have this idea, or maybe we have this goal body or this goal weight in mind, and we only focus on getting there, we miss out on the rest of the journey that happens. And we might miss out on just enjoying the body that we have in that moment. And that is something that I think every woman would just benefit from if they could really just learn to kind of appreciate what their body is able to do now, appreciate what their body looks like, even if it doesn't look the way that you think that it should. I know that there is a ton of fear around being able to love yourself if you're not at that goal weight. And for so many of us, we kind of suspend this idea that we're worthy of love, we're worthy of acceptance or respect until we get to this place, until our body looks a certain way. But the reality is that you right now and the body that you're in is enough. And it's up to you, yes, to take care of it, but that can be in a variety of ways. And so if you feel like you just kind of keep running on this hamster wheel of trying to get the weight down or the weight off, or of trying to get your body to look a certain way because you feel like that's what it should, I want to invite you to just appreciate the body that you have and treat it like you appreciate it. So that does mean, picking mostly whole foods that you would have found years ago before we had all the processed foods. That does mean moving your body in some way almost daily. That does mean, getting enough sleep and learning how to manage your stress in a way that doesn't involve just mindless binge and overeating. But the rest of the details are kind of up to you, and your body eventually will just start to kind of figure it out, and it will land where it should. And that really, to me, was kind of what I came around to see when I started studying the Health at Every Size movement. It's about doing the things that we can do, so controlling the things that we can control, which is what we put in our mouth, how we move our bodies, and what we think about ourselves. And then it's letting our own physiology, our own bodies then kind of take over. Because truthfully, your body, even though you might not feel like it knows what to do, does know what to do. It's just the noise and society around us that sometimes gets a little bit too loud for us to hear. So if you're struggling with what you look like right now, and you feel like once you get to a certain body size or body weight, then you can be happy, then you can love yourself, then you can have self-respect or feel like you deserve respect from other people, I want to encourage you to tell that lie to get lost and instead start believing the truth that you right now in the body that you're in are worthy of all of those things that you want, and that you can have that kind of happiness, that kind of fulfillment and contentment in the body that you're at now. For me, it was hard to kind of give up the idea or the notion that my body should look a certain way, especially as a fitness coach or a nutrition coach. I thought that I was supposed to be kind of leading the charge and being this picture perfect example of what health looked like. And when my body kind of decided that it didn't want to comply with those things anymore, and no matter how much I was working out or how clean or how perfect I was following my meal plan, the weight either kept climbing or stayed the same, or I just noticed that my body was holding on to fat. I had to really question, like, here I am doing all of the right things. Why am I not healthy? Why am I not losing weight anymore? And even just kind of pausing for a minute and asking myself that question, why am I not losing weight anymore? Just saying it even now, it kind of makes me think, well, why should that always be the goal? Why should me pursuing or you pursuing a healthy body always involve us getting back to some weight, either pre-body or pre-baby weight, maybe weight in high school, or our wedding, or whatever it is? I think that we often associate some of those happier seasons of life with what we looked like. And so if that's true, then any time that we don't look the same way, whether that's with wrinkles or gray hair or a little extra body weight, then it suddenly is like, well, we can't be as happy now. But I challenge you, and I know from personal experience and experience of working with clients, that is not true. So if you are kind of still stuck in that mindset of thinking that health has to look a certain way, or that you aren't healthy if you don't work out several times a week and you don't eat a certain way or follow a certain diet, I just want you to throw all of those expectations out the window and focus on what you can focus on, which is, again, your attitude and your effort. So focus on eating in a way that feels good, that doesn't feel restrictive or like punishment, but is also nourishing your body and really feeding those long-term goals that you have for yourself. Moving your body daily in a way that makes you feel excited or relaxes you or invigorates you, makes you feel strong and empowered. And then taking care of your mind, really managing the thoughts that you have, and noting the lies, and then writing out and pasting up somewhere the truth. Because remember, health doesn't look a certain way, fitness doesn't look a certain way, and it really is less about the size and the shape and what your body looks like that's the determinant of health, and it's more about the behaviors that you choose to engage in every day. So I hope that this helped you kind of take some of the pressure off of having to look a certain way before you can be healthy or happy. And I hope that it gives you that freedom to really kind of lean in and see, again, just like taking the reins of your own health and your own wellness journey and kind of writing out that custom blueprint for you. The freebie that you can grab below in the discussion or the comments, and if you want to leave a comment, let me know what else that you want to hear from on this topic. And then, of course, always please share. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you again soon.